Hey there, gardening family. Welcome back to Time for Gardening. I'm so glad you're here because today we are tackling one of my favorite topics, beauty without the waste. If you're tired of the endless cycle of plastic pots and want a garden that gives back to the earth as much as it gives to your soul, you are in the right place. Today, I'm sharing 20 zero-waste wonders, unique, eco-friendly container ideas for perennials that will bring abundant blooms to your home year after year. From old work boots to vintage kitchen finds, we're proving that luxury doesn't have to cost the planet. Make sure you stick around until the very end, because inspiration number 20 is a total game changer for your outdoor dining space. Let's grow something beautiful together. Imagine those old, retired leather work boots finding a second life as the heart of your garden, rather than ending up in a landfill. These weathered vessels, with their cracked leather and history of hard work, provide a surprisingly sturdy home for the bold, sun-loving purple coneflower. The visual contrast between the rugged, earth-toned boots and the vibrant, delicate petals of the echinacea creates an instantly captivating focal point that tells a story of resilience and rebirth. As the leather naturally ages and breathes, it creates a unique microenvironment that helps these hardy perennials establish deep roots. Beyond the rustic cottagecore aesthetic, these boots serve a higher purpose. The echinacea blooms will return year after year, providing a consistent nectar source for local pollinators. This setup proves that even the most worn-out items can be reimagined to support a flourishing, zero-waste ecosystem in your backyard. There is a timeless farmhouse elegance in the silver sheen of an old galvanized wash tub, especially when it is repurposed to hold a sea of fragrant English lavender. These heritage pieces were built to last for generations, and by giving them a new life as planters, you prevent bulky metal waste while gaining a container that withstands the harshest winters. The wide opening allows the lavender's silver-green foliage to billow over the metallic edges, creating a lush, aromatic display that feels both organized and wild. Transitioning from style to substance, these tubs offer the depth and stability that lavender needs to thrive as a long-term perennial. Because lavender is a drought-tolerant plant, it pairs perfectly with the heat-retaining properties of the metal, ensuring your zero-waste wonder stays vibrant with minimal water. Every summer, your patio will be transformed into a purple sanctuary that delights the senses while honoring the sustainable traditions of the past. Tiny but mighty vintage tea tins offer a splash of retro color and intricate design that modern plastic pots simply cannot replicate. By simply drilling a few drainage holes in the bottom, you transform these collectible kitchen scraps into a charming gallery for various hardy sedums. The succulent, fleshy leaves of the stone crop peek over the vibrant typography of the tins, creating a shelf-ready display that celebrates both history and nature in a compact, manageable way. This miniature garden approach is ideal for gardeners looking to maximize their impact in small spaces or on sunny windowsills. Because sedums are incredibly drought-tolerant and virtually indestructible, these tea tin treasures require very little maintenance and zero replacement plants. It is a perfect example of how small, intentional choices in upcycling can lead to a diverse and beautiful perennial collection that lasts for years. Nothing says American homestead quite like a reclaimed wooden whiskey barrel serving as a centerpiece for your garden. These heavy-duty oak barrels are often discarded once they've served their purpose in the distillery, but their rot-resistant wood makes them a premier choice for large-scale container gardening. When planted with towering firework like bee balm monarda, the barrel becomes a vibrant explosion of color that grounds your garden with a sense of history and permanence. The sheer volume of soil a half-barrel holds allows the bee balm to spread its roots and grow into a massive, healthy clump that returns with more vigor every spring. This setup is a powerhouse for local ecology, as the monarda is a top-tier favorite for hummingbirds and butterflies. By choosing a reclaimed barrel, you are opting for a biodegradable, plastic-free solution that looks better with every passing season. Repurposing old wooden fruit crates brings an instant layer of texture and shabby chic charm to any shaded corner of your garden. Lined with simple burlap or a recycled landscape fabric, these crates become the perfect, breathable home for the delicate, arching stems of bleeding hearts. The soft, heart-shaped pink blooms hanging against the weathered, stamped wood of the crate create a nostalgic, romantic aesthetic that feels like a hidden treasure in a woodland garden. While the crates themselves will eventually return to the earth as they decompose, they provide a stable nursery for your perennials to mature. Bleeding hearts are classic shade-loving perennials that reward the zero-waste gardener with a spectacular spring show before going dormant in the summer. This cycle of growth and the natural aging of the wood perfectly mirror the sustainable philosophy of working in harmony with nature's timeline. A discarded shipping pallet might look like trash to some, but to a zero-waste gardener, it is a vertical canvas waiting to be painted with flowers. By securing backing to the pallet and filling the slats with soil, you create a living wall that saves precious ground space. When planted with creeping phlox, the pallet disappears behind a waterfall of dense, colorful blooms that spill downward in a carpet of pinks, purples, and whites. This vertical arrangement does more than just look stunning. It provides a unique drainage system that creeping phlox absolutely loves. As a perennial, the phlox will grow thicker and more robust each year, eventually covering the entire structure in a permanent tapestry of flowers. It's a brilliant way to hide an ugly fence or wall, while keeping industrial wood waste out of the wood chipper. Transforming a vintage metal birdcage into a hanging planter is a whimsical way to add height and mystery to your garden design. These intricate wire structures, often found gathering dust in thrift stores, are perfect for supporting trailing perennials like bellflowers, campanula. As the blue or white star-shaped flowers grow, they weave through the bars and spill out of the bottom, creating a floating orb of blossoms that dances in the breeze. Beyond its visual appeal, the birdcage provides a natural defense against some ground-dwelling pests, while allowing for 360-degree air circulation. Bellflowers are exceptionally hardy and will return to their hanging sanctuary every year, becoming more lush as they age. This project encourages us to look at decorative waste through a functional lens, proving that beauty and sustainability can hang together in perfect balance. If you have an old metal colander that has seen better days in the kitchen, don't toss it. Move it to the garden. The pre-existing holes that once drained pasta water make these vessels the ultimate no-drill planters for succulents like hens and chicks. Semper Vivum. The retro enamel colors or the rustic patina of aged aluminum provides a beautiful backdrop for the geometric, rose-like patterns of these tough-as-nails perennials. Because hens and chicks require superior drainage to prevent root rot, the colander's design is actually more effective than most expensive ceramic pots. These plants are famous for their ability to produce pups or offsets, meaning your zero-waste container will eventually be overflowing with new life. It's a self-sustaining cycle of growth that turns a simple kitchen tool into a permanent piece of living art. rusted-out wheelbarrow that can no longer haul dirt is the perfect candidate for a mobile meadow. Instead of letting it sit in a scrap heap, fill the bed with rich compost and plant a dense thicket of daylilies. The bright, cheerful orange or yellow blooms of the daylilies rising from the weathered metal create a stunning found-object sculpture that adds character to any lawn or garden path. Daylilies are the workhorses of the perennial world, known for their ability to thrive in almost any condition with very little help. By using a large container like a wheelbarrow, you give them the space to colonize and create a massive floral display that looks intentional and grand. This approach captures the heart of American rural charm while demonstrating that broken tools still have plenty of work left to do in the garden. Large wicker laundry baskets or hampers often end up in the trash when a few strands start to unravel, but they make surprisingly elegant, breathable planters for majestic peonies. When lined with a bit of repurposed plastic or burlap to hold the soil, these baskets provide a soft, organic texture that complements the heavy, romantic blooms of the peony. The contrast of the structured weave with the exploding soft petals is a staple of high-end cottage garden style. Peonies are legendary for their longevity, often living for 50 years or more if left undisturbed. By planting them in a large, deep basket, you allow their substantial root systems to establish properly, while the basket provides a natural cage to support the heavy flower heads. This zero-waste choice emphasizes the idea of long-term investment in your garden, where the plants outlast the containers and become part of your home's history. In a zero-waste garden, a broken pot is not a tragedy. It's an opportunity for an architectural masterpiece. By stacking cracked or have terracotta pots into a tiered tower, you create a multi-level landscape that mimics a natural rocky outcrop. Planting black-eyed Susans, Rudbeckia, in these different levels creates a vertical burst of golden yellow that draws the eye upward and makes even the smallest corner feel abundant. The porous nature of the clay pots is ideal for the black-eyed Susan, as it prevents the soil from becoming waterlogged while keeping the roots cool. These perennials are famous for their long blooming season and their ability to self-seed, ensuring that your tower of gold remains a vibrant part of your garden for years to come. This project teaches us that perfection is not required for a garden to be breathtakingly beautiful. Sometimes the best zero-waste container is the one nature provides on its own. A hollowed-out tree stump or a fallen log can be transformed into a stunning organic planter for shade-loving coral bells, Terra. The dark, decaying wood provides a rich, nutrient-dense environment that these foliage-focused perennials adore, creating a seamless transition between the garden and the surrounding woods. Coral bells come in an incredible array of colors, from lime green to deep obsidian, allowing you to paint the log with living texture. As the wood naturally breaks down over several years, it feeds the plants and eventually merges with the soil, leaving no waste behind. It is the ultimate expression of the cradle-to-grave philosophy in gardening, where every element eventually gives back to the earth. Using oversized ceramic teapots as planters adds a touch of Alice in Wonderland whimsy to your garden. These pots, often found at estate sales with minor chips or missing lids, are perfect for hosting delicate miniature violets. The violets can peek out from the top and even pour out of the spout, creating a playful visual narrative that delights visitors and adds a sense of personality to your plant collection. Perennial violets are hardy, shade-tolerant, and often fragrant, making them the perfect companion for a decorative tabletop display. Because they stay relatively small, they won't outgrow their teapot home quickly, allowing you to enjoy this upcycled arrangement for many seasons. It's a wonderful way to preserve a piece of vintage kitchenware while inviting the beauty of the woods into your patio space. Rubber tires are one of the most difficult items to recycle, making them a top priority for creative upcycling in the garden. By stacking and painting them in vibrant colors, you can create massive, insulated raised beds that are perfect for giant hardy hibiscus. These dinner plate hibiscus need plenty of room and moisture, and the wide diameter of a tire provides a sturdy, contained environment for their dramatic summer show. The rubber walls of the tire help retain heat in the spring, giving these tropical-looking perennials a head start on the growing season. Once the hibiscus reaches its full height of 4 to 5 feet, the container is completely hidden by lush green leaves and enormous flowers. This project takes a persistent environmental problem and turns it into a platform for one of the most spectacular blooms in the perennial world. old metal carpenter toolboxes have a rugged, industrial charm that makes them fantastic alternatives to standard plastic window boxes. When mounted under a window or placed on a brick wall, these heavy-duty boxes provide a deep soil reservoir for fragrant, purple catmint, nepeta. The cool gray or rusted red of the metal serves as the perfect neutral backdrop for the hazy lavender-blue flowers of the mint. Catmint is a favorite for zero-waste gardeners because it is incredibly resilient, drought-tolerant, and loved by bees. It has a long blooming season and a relaxed, spilling habit that softens the hard lines of the metal toolbox. By repurposing these tools, you are honoring the craftsmanship of the past while creating a modern haven for the garden's little helpers. Reclaimed cinder blocks are often left over from construction projects, but their geometric holes make them perfect ready-to-use planters. By stacking them in a staggered pattern, you can create a modern, living wall or a unique garden border. Filling each individual pocket with a different variety of stone crop, sedum, creates a living mosaic of colors and textures that looks like a piece of contemporary art. This approach is highly sustainable because concrete blocks are incredibly durable and provide excellent insulation for plant roots against temperature swings. Stone crops are low-maintenance perennials that thrive in the well-drained environment of a cinder block pocket. Over time, the plants will spill over the edges, blurring the lines of the concrete and turning a cold building material into a warm, living habitat. When a house gets new gutters, the old aluminum sections usually head straight to the metal recycler, but they have a much better use as sky gardens. Mounted horizontally along a fence or a shed wall, these long, narrow channels are perfect for low-growing perennials like sea thrift, Armeria marittima. The rows of pink, globe-shaped flowers sitting atop grassy foliage create a clean, modern look that maximizes vertical space. Sea thrift is a salt-tolerant and hardy perennial that doesn't require deep soil, making it the ideal tenant for a shallow gutter system. This setup allows you to grow a large number of plants in a footprint that is essentially zero, all while using 100% repurposed materials. It's a sleek, clever solution for the eco-conscious gardener who wants to add a pop of color at eye level. Using a piece of large, sculptural driftwood as a planter brings the rugged beauty of the coast or the riverbank directly into your garden. Naturally weathered by the elements, driftwood often has deep crevices and hollows that can be packed with soil and planted with wild columbine, Aquilegia. The delicate, bell-like flowers of the columbine seem to float above the silvered, twisted wood, creating a breathtakingly naturalistic display. Columbines are known for their ability to grow in rocky, difficult crevices in the wild, so they feel right at home in a piece of reclaimed wood. This container is entirely biodegradable and will eventually nourish the soil as it breaks down over many years. It represents a style of gardening that values the raw, unpolished beauty of the natural world and seeks to replicate its effortless elegance. old hardshell suitcase, perhaps one that has traveled the world, makes for a whimsical and unexpected garden planter. When propped open and filled with soil, it becomes a living trunk, filled with the lush architectural leaves of various hosta varieties. This setup is a fantastic conversation starter and looks particularly charming tucked away in a shady corner or under a large tree. Hostas are the kings of the shade garden, offering a variety of leaf colors from deep blue-green to bright variegated gold. They are incredibly long-lived perennials that will fill the suitcase with a dense canopy of foliage year after year. By choosing an old suitcase, you are giving a final destination to a piece of travel history, turning a discarded object into a lush, stationary oasis. The mason jar is a staple of the American kitchen, and using them to create a hanging herb chandelier is a brilliant way to upcycle glass waste. By wrapping the necks in wire and hanging them from a reclaimed wooden frame, you create a vertical garden for perennial herbs like chives. The purple pom-pom flowers of the chives catching the sunlight through the glass jars create a glowing magical effect above your outdoor dining area. Chives are a dual-purpose perennial, offering beautiful ornamental flowers while also being a delicious addition to your kitchen. Because they are perennials, they will regrow every time you harvest them, providing a constant source of green for your zero-waste lifestyle. This project perfectly illustrates the goal of Thyme for gardening, creating a space that is as functional and sustainable as it is beautiful. And that is our list. 20 ways to turn everyday waste into a perennial paradise. The best part about these projects isn't just the money you save. It's the fact that these plants will return every single spring, getting bigger and better while keeping trash out of our landfills. It's all about creating a legacy of growth and sustainability in our own backyards. If you felt inspired to start an upcycled project today, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a green tip. And I want to hear from you. Which of these 20 ideas was your absolute favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy gardening.